Alright, this is the fuel system on my LS swapped El Camino here. This is a Tanks Inc. tank. I bought it from them. Came with the tank, the filler neck. I bought the fuel pump kit through them. Came with the happy little vent there, the little anti-flip over, don't light yourself on fire day. All the lines are dash A and 6. Let's see here. I got a 10 micron Holley fuel filter. It's got a Walbro 255, I think it's liter per hour pump. And the kit also came with a sending unit too, which works great on my factory gauge cluster. It reads hot or low and high like it should. Single wire to the pump. Run off a relay. Ground out the regulator. The pump. And this ground is for the sending unit. So that works good. Tanks Inc. tank. It's really good. All the lines run through the frame because I don't want to have any exposed lines. Let's see, that one runs through the frame too. And it takes a minute. It's a little tough to see underneath the car with the light, but you can see there's no lines running underneath the car other than the very front there, because it's all in the boxed rail, which I don't think Chevelles have. I think it's a C channel, unless you got a convertible maybe. Not sure. Drive shaft is a Denny's drive shaft. They're out of New York. The chromoly heavy duty series. Mufflers are Flowmaster Super 50s. The rest of the exhaust is one-off custom 304 stainless steel. It's all TIG welded and done with nice clamps and everything. It's done pretty nice. Let me grab my slappy light here. It's got Hotchkiss suspension on it too. It's got their Fox shocks. It's about 3 inches lower in the rear. Probably about 3 in the front. It's got a nice stance to it. Tucks the tire, but it don't rub. I got years, days and months measuring this thing. You can't fit a finger in there, but as you can see, it doesn't rub. It's as wide as you can go with these rims. Alright, let's slap this fucker up front. Alright. Underneath the hood. Alright, here's my inlet coming off that fuel filter there. These are Holley's fuel rails. Let's see. Yeah, sweet. Nice focus. Piece of shit. I didn't run the returnless style like what they come with stock, because the Holley computer doesn't really work good with those, and they're a little finicky. I don't know. They're not as good. They just don't tune as well. But it goes through, comes off, goes to the regulator, and this is a sensor for the fuel pressure. I can read the fuel pressure in the car. I mean, you can put a mechanical one on it too, but I like to see what's actually going on so I can data log it. And here's the return line coming down. So that's pretty much it. It runs at 45 psi. I mean, I got no leaks. I got no problems with it. Everything goes good on the fuel pressure end of it. This intake and the heads. I got it from Texas Speed. They're Texas Speed heads. They're LS3 heads. They're milled imported. 20 thou off the heads to keep the compression. I think it should be around 10.5 to 1 or something. Nothing mind blowing. The intake is stock GM LS3. The intake came with the throttle body. The intake obviously came with the fuel injectors, came with the factory GM fuel rail, which I pretty much threw that fucking thing away because it was junk, and ran the return style. But still got the stock LS3 injectors. I think this whole kit here was like $750 or something for the intake, the throttle body, the injectors, which was a good deal because I don't want to use my cathedral port heads because I didn't feel like spending more money on an intake and not have a throttle body and injectors. I would have been over budget, so I was kind of budget friendly with that. What else I got here? I mean, some guys run the factory truck intakes, which are good for low end, but this thing's a little more peakier of a motor. It doesn't really start to pull to around 4,500 to 6,500. So yeah, factory LSD works great. And let's see, oh fuck, the height of the headers. I can pop that real quick. Oh boy. You can see the collector is all up high. The tranny actually hangs like probably about a solid inch lower than the headers. The rest of the exhaust is a little bit lower because it's 3 inch. You gotta pay to fucking play, so that's what it is. It's gonna be a little bit lower, but I've never dragged it on nothing. Never had a problem with that. Never scraped. I mean, I've gone over potholes, speed bumps, all that crap slow, coming in and out of car shows. Oh boy. Put that bad boy back in there. One thing I had a problem with was the alternator. When I first put the torque converter on, it was much lighter of a converter. So coming up from say like anything 4,500 and up with the factory converter, it would slow the engine down much slower, much more gentle. But with the new lighter one, it drops RPM so fast it would spin the alternator pulley, which was the pulley on it originally. And that sucked. So I took the alternator apart. Father-in-law laid the end of the alternator. We dyed, or had a dye for it, made the threads, ended up putting the OAD alternator on. This is off like a 05 Corvette. And that worked out pretty good. No more squealy belt. That was annoying. And power steering lines, that's a big one. This is a 05 GM power steering pump. It's kind of hard to see down there, but yeah, it's there. Those are Detroit Speed lines. The lines they're metric lines running off the pump, but to make the metric lines work with the standard size pump, they have the little adapters right down there, and it all works flawlessly. You just cut to length and hope you can know what you're doing with a hose, but you probably do. And this is a stock power steering box in this car. I didn't do anything with the box, and surprisingly the new pump works great with the old box. Still has like an overboosted feeling like it did from the factory, but I mean, whatever, I don't care. It's just how they were. But all the lines in the car, see the radiator here, these are the tranny lines, the tranny cooler stuff between the AC condenser and the radiator. I got a big B&M crammed in there. You can't even see it, but it's in there. I don't know, God, I guess I never really showed off much of the car. Here's my garage. My God, it just had a 350 with a turbo 350 tranny. And yeah, it's been solid to me. I'm glad I did the LS swap. Dudes always chip wood over it. They're freaking touching tips when they see it. I mean, I know it's all been done before, but still, when I go to car shows, I don't see them that much. Let's see, the tranny. That's another one. I like the column shift because that's what the car had. This is a low car kit. Focus, you pile of crap. Yeah, it's a low car kit. You can really just see the rod on it. I don't want to put a column shifter, a floor shifter in it because the car never had that from the factory. So, column shift still works good. It's all there. It still looks pretty factory. I want to keep that mellow vibe of the car. I don't want to turn it into a fucking drag car because it ain't. It's just my cruiser. But any other questions, hit me up. Have a good one.